Poem is, first of all, walking away, right? It is 18 years ago, almost to the day. So the poet is talking about that it has been 18 years ago till this day. So whoever he's talking about is 18 years old now. A sunny day with the leaves just turning, the touch line new ruled since I watched you play. Your first game of football, then, like a satellite, wrenched from its orbit, go drifting away. Behind a scatter of boys, I can see you walking away from me towards the school, with the pathos of a half-fledged thing set free into a wilderness, the gait of one who finds no path where the path should be. That hesitant figure eddying away, like a winged seed loosened from its parent stem, has something I never quite grasped to convey about nature's give and take, the small, the scorching ordeals which fire one's irresolute clay. I have had worse partings, but none that so gnaws at my mind still. Perhaps it is roughly saying what God alone could perfectly show, how selfhood begins with the walking away, and love is proved in the letting go. So, now, from the whole poem, you can just understand, even if you don't understand anything, you can just make out through words that it's about letting go and parting away, right? So it's a poem about someone who's probably going away from someone else's life. Now, if we look a little bit in, if we look a little bit deeper, we would see that it's a parent who is concerned about parting away with their child, right? So, first paragraph. It is 18 years ago, almost to the day, a sunny day with the leaves just turning. So again, like I told you before, it's talking about time. It's 18 years ago. So he has gone back to 18 years ago. So it was a sunny day with leaves just turning. So it was a sunny day. It was a pretty beautiful summer day, but the leaves were just turning. Probably it was turning brown. It was autumn. It was going to be autumn, right? The touch line new ruled since I watched you play. So right now, whoever he's talking about, probably his child, is very small, right? He has the parent is watching them play. Your first game of football. So now he's probably a toddler. Like a satellite wrenched from its orbit, go drifting away. So he is comparing the child to a satellite wrenched from its orbit. Wrenched means snatched, right? So he has been snatched away from its orbit and now he is drifting away. So he is sort of drifting away now. So now the parent has said that, when I first saw you, you were a baby in my arms. And right now you are at your first football game, right? So you are being sort of drifted away from me because now you're not that little boy who's dependent on me 100%. Now you're learning new skills. Behind a scatter of boys, I can see you walking away from me to get towards the school, with the pathos of a half-fledged thing set free into a wilderness, the gait of one who finds no path where the path should be. So he is behind, this, if you can see from the first stanza, go drifting away behind a scatter of boys. This is one complete line, right? This line ends here. This is called an enjambment. Drifting away behind a scatter of boys. Do you see that there are two things? First of all, this line is not completed in that stanza only, right? Go drifting away and then behind a scatter of boys is in a complete different stanza. When this happens, it's called an enjambment, right? I can see you walking away from me towards the school with the pathos. So he says that now you're in school, I can see that you are walking away from me with the pathos. Pathos comes from a Greek word. I mean, it is a Greek word, and it means I would say expression of emotions, right? So when you are expressing a lot of emotions. right? So there are a lot of emotions when the child is going to the school of a half-fledged thing. Half-fledged here, if you can see this word in itself, refers to a bird, because whenever we talk about this word fledged, it automatically gives us a picture that it's talking about a bird, right? It's just association, right? So bird has been associated. So he says that with the pathos of a half-fledged thing set free. Now the bird was probably not even fully developed. It was just a baby bird. And now it has been set free into a wilderness. It has been set free into wilderness. Means right now he's just a child. He has no experience. And he is going to school, right? Probably going to learn new things. And probably going to choose a path in life, right? The gate of one who finds no path where the path should be. So right now, when children are in school, they are pretty confused about stuff. So that is what this parent is saying, and that is what his parent is concerned of. Now, if you can see these last two lines, it sort of reminds me of Road Not Taken. uh, some sort of, by Robert Frost, some sort of associations can be done with it, because even in the poem Road Not Taken, it was that the poet is sort of confused. He's in a forest setting. He has two paths in front of him, and his dilemma is, which path should I choose? Now the different thing about these two paths is that one path is full of footsteps by people. So it seemed like a lot of people had gone through that way. And the second path was like there were no footsteps, right? So it was completely fresh and new footpath, right? There were grass and everything was there. Now he was really confused that should I tread on a path which has been taken by a lot of other people also and be safe, play safe in life? That was a metaphor. And the second path is a completely new thing. Or should I risk everything and go through a new path and probably explore what others have not explored? Right? So that was the main theme of Road Not Taken. And when I read these two lines, it sort of, helps me associate. I don't know, just my mind, it goes to this poem. Right? And this is what usually you have to talk about when you are analyzing a text, right? Whatever comes in your mind, whatever takes you, even if these two lines takes you to some other poem, you write about that, how you are able to associate one text with another text. Then the next paragraph is that hesitant figure. Now, the child is hesitant. If you remember your school days, what happened was when you were going to the school for the first time, you were pretty hesitant, right? You didn't want to leave your parents' side or their hands, but you still had to go to school, right? That's the first day. So he is describing the first day of school, the hesitant figure eddying away, eddying, just like wrenched from its orbit in the first paragraph, last line. Eddying away means it has a same sense, snatched away, like a winged seed loosened from its parent stem. Winged seed means a seed, when air comes, it takes it away from its parent plant, right? And it goes away. It scatters to different, probably different soil, and then it grows there as a completely new being. So he has made sort of an analogy, right? Has something I never quite grasped to convey about nature's give and take, the small, the scorching ordeals which fire one's irresolute clay. So he says that this is something I can never grasp, right? I can never understand, I can never comprehend the nature's give and take. If you give nature, you can take it. Like it's a give and take relationship, right? The small, the scorching ordeals. Now these are little small things, that fires one irresolutely. When you put a clay into fire, it hardens, right? So this is again a metaphor which he says that which he uses to say that when as tough an ordeal as a child parting away, how tough it is for a parent, to let their children go, probably to study abroad, probably to school, probably to some different country. How hard it is for a parent, right? Only a parent can know that, right? So small scorching ordeals which fires one irresolutely, but that makes not just the parent strong from within, but the child also, the child, it's for the benefit of the child, right, that the parent has to let go. Last paragraph is, I have had worse partings, but none that so gnaws at my mind still. Again, if you see, it's an enjambment. The line is not completed in the first line itself. It is going and connecting with the second line. Gnaws. It should have been in the first line to complete one sentence, right? But it's not there. It's in the second line. So I have had worse partings, but none that so gnaws at my mind still. Again, the using of this word gnaws. It sort of reminds me, little small creatures or maybe microbes or probably some kind of bacteria, that is gnawing at their food, right? So it's like, it's a very grim picture that, this memory is so bad at his mind. It's so painful for him that these kind of picture emerges in your mind. Perhaps it is roughly saying, again, an enjambment, what God alone could perfectly show, how selfhood begins with the walking away. Now he is saying how selfhood, I mean, he is not being selfish, right? That he is letting his child stay and he is holding back his child. It is selfhood, right? That he is letting away his child walk away, and love is proved in the letting go. So when parents, they send you abroad to study, or maybe they send you anywhere to study, it shows how much they love you, because it's not really easy from a parent's perspective, right now, being children, we cannot really understand that feeling, but this is what a parent truly feels, how bad they feel when they have to let go of their child, right? So this was your poem. So here is the question: explore how the writer presents the parent's thought about the child in this poem. In your answer, you should consider the writer's descriptive skills, how he is describing everything, the settings, what pictures come to your mind, choice of language, what kind of language has he used, and use of form and structure. What kind of form and structure he has used, right? Form and structure as in how many paragraphs are there, how is the, what you can see visually about this, right? That's form and structure. Just simple thing, what is a form? When we literally think about any form, like a form of a circle, is that it's a round circle, right? And a form of a square is that it has four equal lines. That is literally form and structure of anything. So we have to analyze the form and structure of this poem now, right? Now, first, descriptive. What can we do to talk about descriptive things? I'm just going to give you some notes which I have there with me, right? I'm going to share it with you, but in the end, it is you who have to write and then submit it to me for analysis, right? I'll probably check it and send it back. In descriptive writing, in descriptive part of the poem, first, of course, the introduction will come, but I'm pretty confident that you can write your introduction now, right? Where you're talking about the parents' feelings about the child and how it can be shown through descriptive, choice of language, and form and structure in the following paragraphs. So one paragraph about your introduction, one descriptive, one choice of language, and the other form and structure, and the final one about the conclusion. Right, so introduction and conclusion, how to write that we have already done. So I'm just gonna move directly to descriptive, right? So if you see in the descriptive part, just in the first line, it's talking about memory, collection, and past. I mean, just when you read the first line, it's 18 years ago, almost to the day, a sunny day with the leaves just turning, right? So all these things, what you can make out, that it's 18 years ago. It is talking about a memory 18 years ago, that memory have happened, right? So it talks about memory, recollection, and past. First thing, turning off leaves. When he says, we can make out that it's probably a sunny day right now, but it is turning, the leaves are turning, so probably it is autumn. And also it gives us like a poetic bend, to think that he is again talking about past, because autumn sort of prints a very gloomy and a little dull picture. So we can already see from line 1 how where the poem is turning towards. So it also talks about the it is going from easier times to his initial drifting away. Remember the he playing his first football game. That is his initial drift, right? His first football game. It's sort of like an initial drift. He has used a lot of imagery and simile to establish the setting, right? So like we did, like a satellite. So he has compared his child to a satellite. He has also compared his child to a winged seed. So these are the points that you can pick to talk about simile and how it has established the setting of the poem, right? That it is in the past right now, when he's going to school, when he's a child, probably he's a toddler, or maybe he has grown into like a child of 8 to 9 years old. Now again, he has equated his relation to satellite and winged seed, right? Which shows that he is drifting away, because both these things are drifting away. The satellite is getting wrenched, and the winged seed is getting drifted away. Also, you can talk about the half-fledged bird here. So he has also compared it to a bird, right? Then you can talk about that school path that we talked about. We just discussed how it's like a wilderness, and then the image of road not taken by Robert Frost comes into play. So you can probably mix those two poems up and probably write your analysis if you feel so. Then you have that's all about descriptive. If you feel there's anything else, you can probably add that. Then you have the choice of language. When we talk about choice of language, we actually have to see what words has the poet used, which shows his emotions out. First word, when I talked about wrenched and eddying, right? Do you remember how it was very, when we say soul wrenching, right? He's eddying towards, means he's going away. And all these emotions are sort of, very emotional words, right? And very heavy words. So you can say that these two words the author has used to show parting away. Similarly, there can be other words also. The Greek word pathos has also been used, right? So you need to remember that it's a Greek word, and usually it is used in dramas, right? If you read Shakespeare, you would see that when we talk about him, we use this word pathos, how he evokes emotions. So how through different words like wrenched, eddying, half-fledged, all these words he has used to evoke some kind of emotions, majorly emotions of parting away and sorrow, right? All these words also show that how the parent is scared, how he himself is not ready. Not just the child is hesitant. We read that in paragraph. Uh, we read that in that hesitant figure, paragraph 3. How he is not ready, he is hesitant, but also the parent is hesitant a little bit. Emotional, and there is an inner turmoil in parent's mind, right? That is your choice of language. Coming to the last part, which is your form and structure. There are 5 quatrains, means there are 4 paragraphs which has 5 lines each, right? That is your 5 quatrains. There is a consistent rhyming scheme. Now, throughout the poem, you can see the rhyming scheme is pretty consistent. So, if you go to the first paragraph, you would see that it is day, play, turning, no, not turning away, just day and play is there. See and free is there. Then you have away and convey. Then you have sow and show. Things like that. And go also, in fact. So there's a consistent rhyming scheme. This consistent rhyming scheme, what is the use of this consistent rhyming scheme? It shows that the emotions are pretty consistent throughout. From the beginning to the end, he is talking about one consistent emotion of reflection, of inner turmoil, of being a little bit of like being sorrowful. Then, through the consistent form and structure, the poet wants to highlight how consistent the emotion of parting away of the parent is maintained. Then again, we talked about enjambment. Enjambment would come in structure, right? So you can give the examples that we discussed about before, where the line is not connected in one straight, it's not even in the same stanza, or probably not even in the same line, and it's getting disconnected and joining with the other line. Now there is some kind of joining happening to the other stanza or to the other, line. It shows that there is a continuous flow of thoughts and there is some kind of connectedness. So even if that line is not in first stanza, the first stanza is getting connected to the second stanza through that breakage of line, right? Also, this can be used for a regular flow of time. It's getting connected right from he was his first steps, probably he was in the hands of his father or a parent, we don't know which one. Then he is, playing football. Then he is, going to school, and then probably he is going to some university or something. He's getting drifted away continuously in succession. Finally, we have dashes. The poet has used a lot of dashes, which shows the changes in thought and emotions, and probably dashes are also supposed to create some sort of break in the thought process. The break is there probably for a sense of, uh, you know, taking a break and reflecting on the past memories, because whenever memories come, there is a reflection of past. And then finally, the poem is written in first point of view, so you can probably talk about that, which is a part of your form and structure. Okay.